Starting.
Right.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Galactic Conversations. Sorry, we've been out of touch for, I think, a week or so, or maybe two. I can't remember.
My previous week was 2 weeks.
Yeah, but welcome.
Welcome back.
Yeah, we're going to dive right in. Justine and I have been chatting before the show. So I wanted to say, yeah, happy Virgo full moon to everyone and happy equinox. How's it been? Place your comments below. But yeah, I wanted to share a dream that I had on equinox night and then a ceremony that I did yesterday. So on the equinox night, so you know Kathy that the mushroom lady that I work with.
Yes.
The dimensional exorcist, Kathy.
Oh, yes, Kathy,
Okay.
dimensional exorcist. There we go. Now I understand that word.
Yes. So she's in my dream space and she's got blonde hair at the moment. But she works with the goddess Hecate, which is pictured with black hair. And I was chatting to her in the dream about the differences between transpersonal psychology and shamanism and how within our individual consciousnesses, this is my focus and she works with both, not that I don't, and it was this whole conversation. Then she tells me, listen, I need to dye my hair black today, and the sun is in Pisces and blah, 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 blah. And it's such an honor when she has a friend with her when she dyes her hair, because it's very significant in her life. So cool. Then the scene changes, and all of a sudden, it's like a cityscape, but from a higher dimensional cityscape drops into my dreamscape. And the first thing I notice is a Vida E Cafe, which wasn't relevant, but that's the first thing that lands. And there's this whole cityscape behind me, but like sparkles and, glitter and everything. And this fucking huge angel with a crown on her head with pitch black hair, but I didn't see her face. And it was just this giant angel. And I was just like, yeah, I woke up straight after that and I was like, holy shit, what was that all about? So that was my dream on equinox night. And then last night I went into a Santa Maria breathwork ceremony for myself. So that's 2.5 hours of breath with cannabis. And I was telling Justine I had quite a big activation last night, or memory or download, and I just went into this huge channel, started singing like opera. It was incredible.
But remember that also sound carries codes.
Yes, of course. I was singing and channeling and it was just so beautiful and so powerful. And I guess like the message that I want to give, besides questions that I have to ask you, but is like, one thing that is so poignant about being in that channeling experience is that it's all you. It's all you, and there's simultaneously no I. It's all you, and there's no self, if that makes sense. And you're just
no, that's a very pertinent point to make. It's all you, but there's no self.
Yes.
Because
no personality. It's the pure soul. Like it's like
but that's pure channeling, in the sense of wherever you are channeling from, or from divine source, is that there is no personality.
Yes, and it was so beautiful, because obviously there's no self, but it's all me, and I'm also meeting myself in that, and it was just so powerful, because there's fuck all ego. There's like no ego, and you are just, and it's and I'm channeling in light language before this collective came in, but and I'm just going, and it's a fat conversation with the self, and to the self, for the self, by the self that is not the self. It's just, it was incredible. Like I was crying and laughing and celebrating and clapping. It's like this whole conversation with aspects of yourself. It's wild. It was wild. It was really, really wild. And then, like I said, so this is the story. So last year I started this channeling course, and one of the practices was automatic writing. So I did this automatic writing thing the one day, and I'd kept it, but I'd forgotten about it. Then a couple of months later, I go onto this session with this channel called Athena, and I was working with Athena last year, as in, the Lords of Karma, Athena. And so I'm like, oh, that's a sign. Let me have a little session with this lady. And I say, look, I feel that was the time I was dreaming about these gorillas, this like silverback gorilla energy. And I asked her about it. She's like, it's actually a collective of masculine energy trying to come through, but you have to heal your masculine stuff. And obviously that's what I've been doing lately, right? It's all I've been doing, and so then I ask her cheekily, like, what is the name of this collective? She's like, no, you'll ask and they'll tell you immediately. So I'm like, oh, of course, I know that's the answer, but I get off the call and I'm like, okay, cool. I go in, I'm like, what's your name? And they say Simon. And I'm like, oh, for fuck's sakes, like Simon, come on. Like, I thought it'd be some cool name, like, Zha Jing or whatever.
Zha Jing.
Or something cool, like... And then, so I ignore it because the mental body wants something fabulous and sparkly. So I ignore it. Then I go in one day again and I'm like, what is the name of this collective? And I get Simon again and I'm like, okay, cool. I'll work with this. Then I'm cleaning my room the one day and I find the automatic writing that I did months before. And there it says Simon, blah, 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 blah. And it's got the whole channeling. And I'm like, okay, fine. Then last night in the session, because she said you need to clear all of your masculine drama. And at the time I was like, but everything is fine. What are you talking about? Now I understand. And then they came through last night, and immediately it was Simon. And I was like, okay, I am no longer in doubt. So yeah, a message to you guys that are practicing these things: when you get a name, trust it. Trust it. But yeah, I wanted to ask 2 questions from my session last night. I don't know if it's possible. Like, the first bit of channeling that I was doing prior to this collective coming in, like, can you read into what cosmic aspect or galactic aspect of myself that I was connecting with? Because it was new language and...
Okay, sorry, repeat that again.
I was saying, like, the channel that I went into last night, like, can you, as you, Justine, pinpoint which part of the universe that is from, or which part of my galactic heritage or cosmic heritage was being accessed or downloaded?
Okay, give me you asked these questions just off the cuff. Okay, I'm picking up Lyra.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you pick up any mantis?
Praying mantis.
Yeah. Mantis beings. Because I felt like I felt actually quite a lot come through. But I felt at one stage like a mantis energy, or...
Yeah. I have dealt with the mantis energy, but it was not such a very good energy. I actually did a clearing for a client in 4 ways.
Yeah.
She had a not such a good... She had almost like a walk-in.
Okay.
But it didn't get that far as the actual walk-in.
Yes.
But that energy was still present with her, so I did a huge clearing.
Okay.
At their house. Actually, yeah, it was quite intense.
Interesting.
Okay, just hang on a sec.
No worries.
Okay, so I'm definitely picking up Lyra.
Okay. It was quite a strong warrior energy as well. Like it was like at one stage.
Lyrans are warriors.
Yes.
They are warriors. They're very, very. It's almost like tribal.
Yeah.
Warrior. Because when I see the Lyrans, I see a warrior type, but it's not like I'm going to use an analogy here. So it's not like warrior as in the sense of sorry, I've got a lot of energy coming in here.
Okay.
Okay, it's not if I can use a third dimension analogy, it's not like warriorship, like
a military force.
Not a military force, and not like a kingship, for example, like in not knights, and not the Knights Templar. Sorry, just give me a sec. Like in Lancelot, not Lord King. What's the name? What's the king's name?
I know what you're talking about. I can't think. And Andrew or
no, King
Arthur.
So it's not that kind of warrior either.
Yes.
Not warrior in terms of the Japanese. I've got a tsunami coming in now. Tsunamis are coming in. I don't know why tsunamis are coming in. Not the warrior in terms of the Japanese. The ancient warriors in Japan.
Yeah. So the samurais.
Thank you.
Fuck.
Fuck it. I've just got tsunamis coming in.
I'm like, oh, Arthur, samurai.
Yeah, I just see these tsunamis, these huge waves coming in. So it's not, this is the analogy. So it's not like warriors in King Arthur and the samurai. It's more like if I look at the Brazilian tribes, the ancient Brazilian tribes.
Lions,
Yes, like it's that kind of warrior.
Yeah.
So,
because at one stage I was doing like this, like it was like I was suiting up with armor or like presenting my armor, and I was doing this like haka, like the New Zealander haka. Yes. Like I was doing this dance. I mean, I was lying down, but I was hunting on. So you feel it was Lyran.
Definitely right, Lyran. Okay. Well, that's what I see. Yeah. Cool. The praying mantis. Okay, just hang on a sec. Okay, so the praying mantis is like how you travel like from Joburg to Cape Town?
Yeah.
Right, you have to go through certain cities.
Yeah.
To get there.
Yes.
You're either going to go via Bloemfontein or, yes, this is a lot of energy coming in. Sorry, just give me a sec.
It's okay.
So it's almost like it's almost like a route you take.
Okay.
From Lyra. Does
okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes.
And that species is
like on the way.
On the way.
Okay.
Yes.
Because I felt that come in like first before this warrior energy finally came in. Yeah.
It's definitely an en route experience. And it's almost also like a toll gate you have to go through.
Okay.
Does that make sense? It's like a portal.
Yeah.
I mean, a portal is to get from one position in space, time to another.
Yeah.
Not space and time.
Yeah.
Space time.
Yes.
Not time and space.
Yeah.
No. Space time.
Yeah.
So, but you have to go through that, and it's like a route.
Yes.
You take.
Okay.
And then you have these praying mantis.
Okay.
Species.
Yeah.
And I can affiliate them to the samurai.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
They have more of a samurai frequency than of a Mayan frequency. Does that make sense?
Yes. 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 And this collective called Simon, can you pick up anything on them? I mean, I know they are, I don't know. I was told originally that there's about 4 of them, I think, within this collective that are trying to channel through me. I'm just curious.
Okay. Simon. Okay.
And as I said, like originally it was coming through symbolically for me with this gorilla, the silverback gorilla theme and dream and meditation.
Yes.
So that was the representative of that masculine energy that I feel is trying to
come through.
Yeah. Or that made contact yesterday. Yeah.
Okay, just give me a sec.
Go for it.
Okay, tsunamis have gone. That's interesting. I don't know why.
Well, I think there was another earthquake somewhere last week in Japan.
I don't know. Okay, I don't know. I don't watch the news. But yeah, that's quite hectic.
Yeah, there was another earthquake and tsunami warnings last week, I think.
Shit, but I'm seeing that's like huge waves here.
Yeah.
Okay, where are we? Okay, Simon, just give me a sec. This is like traveling deep, you know, like when you go on like an expedition deep into Africa. Okay, well, this is where I'm going, so just give me a moment.
Okay.
Okay, I got it. Okay, so Simon is I'm picking it up that I'm picking up a moon.
Okay, interesting.
I'm picking up a moon that's close to Lyra.
Okay.
So it's if you want to call it a consciousness.
Yes.
That's close to Lyra, but it's a moon.
Okay.
So, because Lyrans have definitely there's a stronger feminine energy there.
Yes.
From Lyra.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I'm picking up a very, very strong feminine position.
Okay.
Tribal position.
Yes.
So this moon could be I'm just waiting to hear if they say anything. Just give me a moment. Go. Sorry. Traveling space time here. Okay, there we go. Sorry, I had to wait. So it's a moon. It's definitely a masculine energy channeling through you to help assist evolve the masculine here. That's you know, if you look at humanity as a whole, it's humans are known with throughout and within the intergalactical field as a destructive force.
I was going to say subpar intelligence.
That too, yes.
Yeah.
But a destructive.
Much respect, guys.
Yes, I say that with much.
Yeah, that's why I said
respect.
I know. Yeah.
I mean, if people don't realize, humanity don't realize that, I mean, you just need to look at history.
Yeah.
And what the world looks like today. That's, you know.
And our present.
You know, it's evident. It's right in front of everybody.
Yes.
That humans are a destructive force.
Yes.
Upon not only the planet, but upon themselves. From a personal level, okay, where you can look at humans as almost the fallen angels. Right? Where they decided, okay, no, we want to decide for ourselves what we want to do. We want to have the choice in making that decision. However, it's almost like you are trapped in your own betrayal of yourself. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so this moon is it's almost like it reflects off Lyra.
Yes.
Of that because the Lyrans are balanced in the sense of it's feminine energy. There's no fucking, that's what I see. There's no doubt about it. But they have balance within their masculine.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And this moon, almost like, it's like our moon here on planet Earth. It also reflects the shadow side of things.
Yes.
That which is not visible.
Yes.
So this is definitely like a pure channeling for masculine energy.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean it almost seems like in this time and age that we shouldn't be talking about masculine and feminine. It should be far more evolved in the sense of balanced.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
I do, but I mean, to share to the viewers here, like I said, you know, a couple of minutes back, it's like, you know, when she said to me, I need to work out my masculine stuff, and I was like, what are you talking about? You know, it's all sorted, but only when it starts happening, like in this.
But okay, can I ask you a question? So what have you experienced? So I mean, this is important
through this clearing process. That's why I want to share. Like, I guess what I've done practically is go through all of the masculines in my space, and obviously there are many because I also have a lot of clients, and that you know, when I do such vulnerable work, a lot of them do turn into friends, and sometimes that gets misinterpreted, but you know, so there's these, I would call it clearing, energetic clearing that I've been doing, where I've been laying down my rules for my creation, my reality. So for example's sake, with some clients who, yes, we would say we are friends because I've been working with you for, you know, 4 years. But when that particular person is enacting and embodying in a way that is not in alignment with something that I've taught you over 4 years of teaching you, I will come into teacher mode and ascension guide mode and give you a piece of my mind, because one, what are you doing? What have you been doing while working with me? 2, I take my work seriously. 3, for me, unfortunately for you, my teacher aspect will always come first, then the friendship, you know. So that's one aspect. Obviously, I've gone through a breakup, so that's another aspect. I'm looking at my relationship with my father. I think women are also mostly looking at their mothers and their feminine lineage. He's been ill, so I've also been looking at my father. I've then been, you know, viewing my father to my relationships and watching things from that angle, viewing my relationships from another perspective completely. And obviously through this whole entire process is only learning about myself. What is the mirror? What is the mirror? And I've realized how much toxic masculinity I've led into my life, and the assumption could be, one, perhaps I was displaying toxic femininity. Two, perhaps it is because of my coding as an empath and a healer, so I will draw those kind of people. So it's been huge personal teachings. It's always personal, mirror, mirror on the wall, you know. And then yeah, so it's been profound because, and also the other aspect of this is, it's been such a deep part of my space and my transformation lately, is and I think we spoke about it before, but the fight, flight, fawn, and then freeze aspect. That fawn aspect doesn't get spoken about much. And looking into my past of how much I used to camouflage and adapt into a situation, particularly around the masculine, which means, yes, I was in fact in a toxic feminine space, because I mean, I used to skateboard, I used to this, I played golf, you know, I wore baggy clothes, this, that, and the next. I identified more with the masculine. And in doing so, would have completely denied my feminine. So then at the time I was working on my feminine, and then this message came in, well, you need to work on the masculine. I was like, but now I'm stepping into my feminine. What do you mean about this masculine? You know, so it's been a big spiral teaching of feminine and masculine, and coming to that balanced place. And I guess you're right in the higher dimensional sense that we're still speaking masculine and feminine is third, but yet so perfect, because so much of it still needs to be in this polarity perspective, so you can fully identify and then go, let me come together. You know, it's just easier as two separate things to look at and then begin to merge. So that's been my process. And it's been huge, because I've never focused on the masculine like I have now. You know, and that's what she told me. She said, when you sort this out, this channel will come through. And I was like, you know, so yeah, that was that. And it's funny you mentioned the moon, because I remember the last time when I did ceremony, I told you about a channel, and you also picked up a moon, but you said it was outside of this solar system.
Yes.
So it's very interesting that this moon keeps coming up. Yeah. Very, very interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just telling you, what I see.
Cool. Well, should we go to Egypt, because we keep saying we're gonna, and then.
You had another question.
No, those were my two. What was which aspect of my channel was coming through? So from which galactic part of me, which you answered Lyra, and then the next one was what, who, or how is this Simon collective coming through? Right. So you did answer both. Thank you. Okay. Yes.
Alrighty. Any other questions from our guests?
No, but I've written some things down. Oh yes. Oh no, we spoke about Thoth the last time. Hey.
Yes.
Yes, we did. And then, I mean, I've just written some things down here. Like, I guess I could just pop it out and say the universal Melchizedek lineages. What is that about?
Oh, Jesus.
I think you should brief you beforehand. I know. Or I've got the Emerald Order, or the Essene Templar knowledges, or the Cathars. I wrote down the Cathars because I know they were burned alive in France or something like that, and I know you have an affinity to
Yes, but that was Napoleon days.
Yeah, this is all galactic history kind of stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
So what are the Cathars?
Jeez.
It says here they held the Essene Templar knowledge.
Yeah, so the Cathars, okay. Now I have to go back in history. Sorry. Poof.
Space time.
No, time and space.
Time space.
Time and space, not space time. Gotta go back in my history and see. Just give me a second. Cathars. Okay. So we're going back to where I see there's a tunnel. And these dudes are digging through a tunnel from one point of a city to another to get some very sacred information. Okay.
Okay.
This is not in Egypt. No, I think it's in Israel.
Yeah, because I mean the Essenes would have been something to do with Christ's lineage, I think. Or
Yes. So I'm picking up that there was a tunnel. I'm just telling you what I see now.
Okay.
Tunnel, and I dug through this tunnel and I got this information and they took it to France.
Okay.
And so basically it's what I'm seeing. I think it started out with 4. I'm seeing 4 individuals.
Okay.
That's the original heritage.
Okay.
Of the protection of this, you could call it, I'm going to use it again, the Holy Grail.
Yeah, it says something Albion and Hieros Gamos I've written down as code words.
Okay, I don't know. I'm just telling you what I see.
Yeah.
The Holy Grail. So I'm seeing 4 individuals that initiated that. And
so they took these texts and went to France.
France.
As protectors of these texts.
Correct.
Okay. And then got burned alive.
Yeah, but then obviously it grew from there because, I mean, it's... so it's almost like a... how do I put this? I've got to use the right words. So it's like a sacred and secret society, if you want. That society, so it's not society. Sect. That's the first word that came up. Yes, sect. And that has been protected from generation to generation, basically. But I don't know, what I'm seeing is that they're protectors of the Holy Grail, if you want to call it that. That's
the Cathars are protected.
That's what I'm seeing, yeah.
Okay. And are you going into the Akashic now to see that, or how do you?
I'll just go back in time and see.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, Akashic records, I mean, you can...
That's more for the soul that you would go in.
It's more for the soul. It's soul information. The Akashic records is soul information. I love the way you put that. It's soul information. You want to go into the history, soul information, yes. If you want to go into the history of intergalactical stuff, then you go to the halls of Amenti, because that's, like I said, there's different levels there.
Yes.
You can go in there, but for me, I normally rewind time. I don't know. That's how it comes up for me.
Okay. Interesting. And what timeline are we in there? Like what year?
That is the... Okay, hang on a sec. I'm picking up 800. I don't know.
After Christ.
Yes, after Christ.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, not before Christ, after Christ.
Yeah.
860.
The year 860.
860, somewhere around there.
Okay. Okay, guys. Well, that's a little bit of information about the Essene.
I don't know. Yeah, don't
Templar knowledge.
Don't take my word for it, please. I just come up with what I see is what I see.
Yeah, yeah. I wanted to ask a question, like, because you so say for example, you as Justine go into the Akashic records of a soul, you will see information, right? And receive information and read information from there. With someone like myself, obviously from that Akashic record reading that I told you, where he said at some point I should be able to read the Akashics, but as someone who is, my gift is not seeing, how do I read the record if I'm just feeling? I guess it's much like my channeling. I'm feeling it and the information is coming telepathically.
Correct.
Okay.
So it could come in a sense of a feeling.
So it'd be feeling telepathic and knowing.
Yes, and a knowing.
Yeah.
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 I don't like to go into the Akashic records of other souls. It's almost like an intrusion for me. I delve more deeper into the intergalactical spectrum.
Okay.
Than the Akashic records.
Okay.
Because for me it's a very personal thing, to go and, because it's almost like it's your privacy.
Yes.
So even though I'm able to go and look, I don't go and look unless somebody asks me to go and look.
Sure.
I have the permission. Yeah.
That would be the role of an Akashic record reader.
Yeah.
They receive permission.
Yeah.
From that person's higher self. And just speaking to permission and spiritual consent here, I had a friend from about 8 years ago come visit me from Joburg, who I knew wouldn't have shifted his frequency much at all, and I was spot on. But long story short, within 10 minutes of being here, I was like, come sit down and just do 5 minutes of breath with me. Just do 5 minutes of breath. And that was the instruction I gave him. Sit down, I'm going to put this music on, breathe. And that was the only instruction. But as I was sitting with him, I could feel a healing coming, and for him. And obviously I was like, shit, I didn't say sit down and breathe, I'm going to give you healing. I said sit down and breathe. So in the middle, I just said, do you consent to receiving a healing?
Yes.
And he just nodded his head, and then I went. I guess the message I'm trying to give to those listening is that there's got to be consent when we're doing these things. Yeah.
Also, also in terms of protection and any sense of healing, because the presence of your existence is to learn. And you know, you learn through experience. Like, I take a prime example of you. It's like, you know, you started your channeling a year ago. You've learned over the last year, you know, and that is reflective of other aspects of energy that you weren't aware of 3 years ago. But what you've experienced over the last 3 years or 4 years, you know,
it's huge. Yeah,
it's huge.
It's huge.
You know, so and that's why also I've in some instances haven't intervened. So I'll see from like a different dimensional level. But it's like, no, the soul has to learn for itself. It has to experience for itself. It has to come to a greater understanding of itself. And just giving, it's like, just like if you just give somebody something, there's not really going to be an understanding of what the value of that, what it truly means.
And also, again, it's speaking to the mental body. It's always soothing the mental body to receive that information. You know, it's like one guy I spoke to, he was like, yeah, I found out my 12th dimensional heart is activated and I'm a blue avian. And I said, and now what?
Yeah.
You know, so that soothed actually at the mental body and the ego to a certain degree. So, but unless you can tap into that 12th dimensional heart and your blue avian family through dedication, spiritual practice, commitment, raising your frequency, then the information is really for nothing, you know. And so, yes, you're right. And I'll share with you guys, you know, Justine, even though I would call her one of my master spiritual teachers on earth, she's you know, it's like holding a stallion back. She didn't give much in the beginning.
No, because what is it going to, you have to learn. You have to learn.
Of course.
You know, and I've, you know, whether it's the guardians of light, and they will attest to that.
Yes.
That they just want to be able to see and do, and I said, no, it doesn't work like that. Click of the finger. You have to experience to understand, and it's my responsibility if I'm training you or guiding you in this process. It's almost like being a parent in a sense, you know, because the child just wants what it wants.
Yes.
It's like, no, you
instant
can't
gratification.
Exactly. And you can't have that now because you're not, first of all, you're not ready for it. Yeah. So, I mean, you can't run if you haven't learned how to walk.
Yes. Yes.
So, yeah, and I think in the collective scheme of things, also with starseeds, I'm talking specifically to starseeds now. You can also get that aspect of the hamster wheel, where you just keep on going round and round in the same kind of circle.
Yeah, it's frustrating.
You know, and I know there's like a presence to understanding your starseed
origin
or presence, your starseed presence, you know. But at the end of the day,
it also limits you.
You need to really look at, like, am I paying too much attention to where I'm from instead of what I can do? Does that make sense?
Yes. No, of course. I know a lot of starseeds. You know what? One of my first sessions when my light language activated, and I was just working a little bit more with that. And at that stage, it was the Syrian energy that I was working with, and she just said to me, "So I'm going to give you this information, and as wonderful as it sounds, mystical, galactic, cosmic, forget about it. So forget about it. It means nothing. It's limiting. It's nice as an anchoring at this point in time. So you receive the codes of that information, and whether you research it or meditate on it or whatever, receive it and release it. And it's funny, like, you mentioned Lyra today. It's very interesting because one of my first sessions with Maria, she said to me, oh, yes, yeah, here we go. Origin Lyra. But my first, again, I'm not really experiencing much in that session other than receiving the information. So what did I do when I did my big journey, and this was this big serious activation? Because I'm experiencing it, I have way much more attachment to the energy of it because I felt it. And so I ignored Lyra and I was like, cool, my focus is now serious. And then, for example's sake, in the Akashic reading, he was like, you're working with Sirian and Pleiadian at the moment. So I guess my point is, don't let that information limit you, because we are fucking old and ancient, some of us.
Yes. So, I mean, it's, it boils down again to the journey of a person's presence, and I can't sit here and tell you what to do and what not to do and what's right or what's wrong. I can do that for myself and stand up when something is not right on this plane, when there is no integrity and there's no ethical and moral and
honorable standing.
For me, from a intergalactical perspective, it's important to stand up and say, this is not right. Instead of a lot of society and humanity worry about or think about what people are driving, where they live, or where they go on holiday, what their relationships are, on all the social media. And when it comes to the very important stuff, and if I just look at things that people are aware of, in the sense of like they can see that something is not right, whether it's with the climate, the range is broad.
Yes, there's many topics we could pick.
There's many topics that you can pick.
But no one says anything.
Okay, I'm not saying that. I'm not excluding those individuals that are there on the battleground at the forefront, saying, stop polluting our oceans, stop polluting our air, stop whatever. You know. I'm not discarding that. I'm saying the majority. I'm saying the majority, and from a karmic perspective, because remember, karma is
a bitch.
Yes, but it originates from the presence of intergalactical foundations.
Because each karmic or each moment in one's life when there is an opportunity to stand up for something is recorded. When you choose silence and therefore bypassing, it's recorded.
You're actually creating the world that it is today. Why do you think the world it is what it is today? Because humans have created that. It's not because of anything else.
Yes.
That's
the clincher. This is the clincher. This is the fucking clincher of ascension work, is people have to recognize that they have created it.
It's created by humans. Yes. It's not the angels. It's not the intergalactical different agendas or whatever. No, it's humans all on their own that have created the world as it is today.
Yes.
And when I say that karma, the presence of energy, because action is energy in motion, but inaction is also energy in motion.
Yeah.
When you make a decision, when you see a child being beaten or molested, or you know that there's child trafficking, or I go on about these things because I see them. I see it in front of me.
Yeah.
And people don't stand up for that, to say, no, this is not the way we should be behaving or treating each other. Okay, it's happening in the war now, where people are standing up, but
but there's a difference, because people are standing up in this righteous manner.
But also they should
deeper knowledge.
Yes, but also there shouldn't be a war now. So America, Britain, China, Europe should have gone to Russia's doorstep and said, no, this is not happening. You are not attacking Ukraine. I mean, I know from a geopolitical perspective, they're all scared that, Putin's going to push the nuclear the nuclear thing button, and they don't want to get involved in a war. I understand that. However, that's what I'm saying.
But can I have a curious question now that we're on the war topic. So I received an email from Bidvest. Don't ask me why I get Bidvest emails, but they're like, okay, cool. If you have any bank accounts linked to Russia, these, we have sanctioned the banks in Russia, and you won't be able to do this and this and this. I thought that was very interesting from an ascension perspective, or a neutralizing a situation perspective, because now the whole country suffers due to sanctions because of one particular man. Now, please note, I haven't given my theory surrounding the war, All I'm saying is I'm noticing, okay, cool. So now we sanction an entire country because of one man's actions, and so they all suffer more.
But it's for them to stand up.
Yeah.
That's the lesson. Because if you look at Putin's chart, I mean, his birth chart.
Yeah.
But also his karma.
Yes.
So his karma for this lifetime was to be in a very powerful position, because according to his chart, I mean, he has the ability to be a very, very good leader.
Yes.
He's got the capabilities there.
Yeah.
He's got the he has the skills.
Yes.
So in this lifetime now, it was his chance to be a good leader.
Yes.
Like you see with the Ukrainian president.
I don't know.
Can you see the opposites there?
I don't know much about the Ukrainian president, but for me, just with the global script and the global agenda at the moment, I like to flip and reverse everything around, not to make a final decision, but to look at things from another angle and perspective. And as far as I know, and please know I know very little, but I believe that a lot of the sex trafficking runs through the Ukraine. And for me, if Biden and America and all of these organizations that have been part of the agenda of COVID and vaccination schemes are all supporting Ukraine, then I have to ask myself why. There's something rotten in Denmark for me.
That's fine, but they're receiving it's all karmic.
For sure.
Okay? It's all karmic.
And that's why I say, we spoke about masculine and feminine. We can speak about Ukraine and Russia. When it's still polarity,
Yeah, look, you're always going to have that polarity.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying from Putin's side is that he had this opportunity to do good in this world, but he's chosen not to, because his ego is just too big for that.
Yeah.
So when you look at the war, and Ukraine in itself will receive its own karmic aspect. Okay.
Yes.
But from an individual perspective, from a leader,
President A and President B.
President B, it's almost like the forces of good and evil. From that perspective. Okay. And if you look at, I'm going to go back to, now that we're talking about the war now, if you look at Nostradamus's, I haven't read any of his
predictions,
premonitions or predictions, but I think there was one. Let me just see. Hang on a sec. Stay on a moment. I think he predicted. I think it was the year, and now I stand under correction. I'm just looking at what I see here. The year 1992 or 1990. It's 1990 something. He had a prediction about something in 1990 that the king of destruction is going to arrive, or something about a man of destruction is going to arrive. Okay. And I think obviously society or people thought that his prediction didn't come true, because obviously nothing catastrophic happened in 1990s. It's 9, I see 1990 or 2, I'm not quite sure.
Okay.
But if you go back in history, you'll see that Putin came into power.
Yeah.
In that exact month.
Okay.
And year that Nostradamus predicted.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Interesting.
So he came into power. He was elected into power the same month and year that Nostradamus predicted that this man, so I don't know if it's a king or a man or something, but it's destruction.
Yeah.
Okay. And even though nothing happened catastrophic in the world, if you go back and look, Putin came to power in that same month, in that same year. Okay?
Yeah.
Right. Another prediction of Nostradamus, because I see fire. So I think one of his predictions, I don't know, I haven't read his book or read any of his predictions.
Yeah.
But I think he said something about Notre Dame.
Yes.
The cathedral.
Yes.
And he said, when you see the fires or flames come from Notre Dame or come out of Notre Dame, that is the beginning of the descent of man. If you look, when was the Notre Dame on fire?
I don't know.
I think it burned.
Yeah.
A section of it burnt down 2 years ago.
Yes. Yeah.
I think it was 2019, because I was in Paris. Yes, I was in Paris in 2019 and they were busy. It was closed.
Okay. Yeah. So 2 years ago, that would have been.
And his prediction, he said, or I'm seeing, when you see the flames from Notre Dame, it is the beginning of the descent of man.
So I mean, we're at the end of our show, but the ending of this is very, very intriguing, because then one could ask, if a man, this soul, Notre Dame, and many other prophets and seers can see this, is there any, how is he seeing that in time, in a timeline? And are we living through a free will system, or is it, again, we come back to soul contracts? But we'll end off in that beautiful note and leave.
It's something to think about, though. I don't know. Go and research it. I don't know look, I stand under correction here.
Yeah.
But I know that I just see the words, when the flames arise from Notre Dame, and that Notre Dame was on fire 2 years ago,
Yeah.
the descent of man will start, and I'm kind of like on his side with that.
And yet we're also entering the age of Aquarius, which is supposed
No,
to.
Age of Aquarius will only happen in another 684 years.
Okay. That was
Okay,
a very
sorry.
precise number. Okay.
Yeah, it's 682, I think, or 680 something. We only enter the Age of Aquarius.
Okay. What are we in now then?
Age of Pisces.
Yeah, Pisces. So it's the ending. Yeah.
Yeah, so Age of Aquarius is only coming in 600 and something years.
Jesus. Because that's high-tech Atlantis kind of vibe.
Yeah,
stuff.
so that's why I say humanity's got a long, and I said this in one of my previous conversations.
Of course, we've said it in
a long way to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, love you guys. Take what resonates, leave
Sure.
the rest, and do your best. I think
Yeah,
that's
and somebody please go and research. I don't know when Putin came into power, but it's 1990 something, and I think it's June or July. I see the month J.
okay.
And there's only June and July, I think.
Yeah. And
June,
January.
July, and January. I don't see. No, it's not January.
Yeah.
It's either June or July, and it's 1990 or 1992 or something that he came into power. And when Nostradamus says this is the guy of destruction, well, we can see that now.
Okay.
So, and this descent of man is definitely, yeah, it's starting.
Yeah.
Descent of man. When I say it's the descent, it's there's shit coming.
And there's light workers working very hard
No?
during this time. Anyway, guys, yeah, lots of love. Please send your questions through. Thank you for your support, and thank you, Justine. Goodbye.
Pleasure.